I want to talk to you a little bit about the choices that we make and the conversations that we have with clients. Number one, we could build a treated substructure with treated material up top, treated handrails, treated deck floor. The treating that we use is a chemical process, that pressure treating process. There's nothing in that chemically that you necessarily want to come in contact with. I generally don't recommend that we use treated material as our substrate to walk on, or a surface to walk on, or our handrails or anything like that. Also, it's aesthetically not pleasing. Even the stuff that you can now find at box stores that is dyed to a specific color to look fancy. From there, we would go to natural woods, cedar being the first choice. Cedar 15 years ago when we built that deck for the architect was a completely different wood basket even than what we can get today. The pores are larger today, it's more farmed wood, and it soaks up moisture, and in our experience over the last few years, it just simply is not lasting at the same rate as what it did, say, 15 years ago, 25 years ago. It used to be when we built cedar decks, it felt, at least, that they lasted substantially longer and we didn't have the same moisture issues and the wicking issues and ingrain issues that we're having today with cedar. And so cedar is a hard sell. It's not necessarily an inexpensive material. It's easy to work with, but it's soaking up a lot of moisture and not giving us a great lifespan. From there, in the hardwood, teak, tigerwood, Brazilian hardwoods, things like that, tropical hardwoods, and synthetic market, tropical hardwoods are hard to come by in the Midwest. They're a lot easier on the coasts. They're relatively maintenance-free. You can oil them. They're a great alternative. However, they are sometimes hard to find from a morality of where they're harvested standpoint. If you can, they're a great choice. They're something that can be reclaimed at some point or recycled in some way. They're a great alternative. So I would recommend that you can look into those. From a synthetic standpoint, I'm not a huge fan. Number one, they have a tendency to be quite warm. We had a project a few years ago where we were doing multiple decks on one building. We built the very first deck on the building. We got done, we walked out on the deck with the homeowner, and the homeowner went, "Oh, we're gonna have to make a change. This material is gonna be way too hot. The dark color, the way it soaked it up." Well, the way that they get their longevity out of those products is the density in the product. So the synthetic decking market, while it does last a very long time, it's come a very long way in color recognition. Temperature, you're looking at forever materials. If you're using a PVC decking, every time you cut that and the shavings go on the ground, it is going to be there forever. That's never going away. There's a reason why we try to not use plastic bottles anymore. The same sort of thing. Yes, it has its place. It's going to have a market somewhere. We're trying to steer clients away from it. Last, for us, in this case, is a tile deck. This happens to be a porcelain tile deck. This product comes from a company called Embrico. They are a sponsor of the Build Show Network, so we should be clear about that. But this is a product that was on the discussion before they were a sponsor and before we knew that they were going to be involved. The clients actually brought Embrico to the table and said, "We're looking for as low a maintenance as possible. This is our forever home. We don't want to deal with this again. It's a small deck. We just don't want to fiddle with this ever again. What do you think about using this product?" So let's talk about what we have here. We have a company underneath called Fortress, which is a steel decking product. Ready-made parts, cut to length, special order. You can get a whole bunch of variety of stuff. Rather than putting a wood frame underneath, which is allowable, we decided to put a steel structure underneath. It's frames just like a regular deck. There are a few specialty connector shaped pieces, and you have to understand their procedures. But we have a Fortress steel deck underneath. That's a forever deck as well. Like our framing underneath is never going anywhere. That's going to last as long as anything that we put on top of it. From that Fortress steel deck, working our way up, we have an extruded aluminum T-shaped rail. That rail has a mounting point. It comes up and it tees. And then we have our porcelain tile with the reinforced backer on it. This porcelain and this system is freeze-thaw stable. It's flame resistant. It's not bothered by water. We have a system that is completely stable for the environment that we're putting it in.